Greetings, my dear friends. Today, I'm gonna use Ableton's delay to muck up or warp around some samples. The goal here is to take kind of normal sounding samples, drums, percussion, bass, anything, put it through this kind of weird, super duper pitch fluctuation, and we resample that pitch fluctuation. This isn't always a practical thing to do, but this can just be a very fun way to experiment with a sound or a few sounds and get some very strange sounding samples into your mix that you can then chop up and have a bunch of fun with. So let's do it. It's okay if you're a little bit confused. Just follow along with me and you'll pick this up very quickly. So the sample I am using is from my most recent sound pack, Foreign Fiber. This is how it sounds. This is what the waveform looks like. And the first thing you want to do is you want to go to Audio Effects, drag a delay onto the audio rack, and set it up as follows. Dry wet 100%, feedback 0%, keep repitch mode on, turn the filter off, and click on sync and make it time. Now the milliseconds knob will act as a kind of repitch, tape, warble kind of thing. And we're going to resample ourselves messing with this knob. So let's set up another audio track and get the audio from the new warble delay track. Arm the track to record, and just start recording that warble effect. Experiment with it and try to get some funky sounds out of it. You can also mess with the warp mode and pitch of the original sample or loop that you're using. And I'm definitely more partial to the second half of that resample, so I'm going to trim this, freeze and flatten it. Then next to that I'm going to create a new MIDI track and drag this sample into the MIDI track, load up the simpler. I'm going to hit slice mode, manual, and I'm going to chop it up. This part is up to your taste, and it can take quite a while to get something that you end up liking. But for everyone's benefit, I'm going to speed through it here. And then I think I have something pretty good that I'm going to record. It's not perfect, but it's textured, which is good. Anytime I come across a less melodic sample, I will always throw echo on it. I'll show you the echo settings I use in case you want to follow along with them. Keep in mind though, it is totally random. And then a couple more tweaks on the simpler device, and I call that ready to freeze and flatten. Off camera, I renamed and organized each segment of the process here. You can see we have the source, which is the sample source. Then we have the resample, which will resample the warble effect that we're applying. And then the final chop is where we'll create a simpler with the resampled warble part. So we did that for a guitar. Now we're going to do it for drums. Then we're going to do it for bass. So let's go. I'm going to use another sample from my recent sound pack, a little drum loop. And let's not waste time. Let's just record a take of some warbly drums. You can hear it really makes it pitched up and pitched down and does really cool things. Super fun to resample drums that go through this thing. Here is that resampled audio file. This is what the waveform looks like. Same old thing, we're going to create a new MIDI track. We're going to drag the drums into a simpler. And once more, I'm going to speed through this till I find a righteous beat. And boom, there it is. And I'm happy with that, so I'm going to freeze and flatten it. Now we're going to listen to both of these parts together. Definitely a strange sounding beat, but I think we can bring it together with a little side chaining. And maybe just a little bit of bass. I'll use a bass sample from an older sound pack. Once more, we are repeating the process, modifying this milliseconds knob and resampling it as we do, creating a MIDI track and recording a resampled bass part. This one I got pretty immediately because I'm not really worried about tones. You know, I'm not really worried about pitch. I think I'm going for texture on this one. Now we just check the quantization. Gonna add some effects to this one, I think. And then we're gonna freeze and flatten everything together. Now I'm gonna organize these so that the drums come first. And now I'm getting some second thoughts about these drums. I'm gonna make them knock a little bit harder using a saturator and a drum bus. Feel free to steal these settings. We'll listen to how the whole mix sounds as one. And I am digging that. So I'm gonna freeze and flatten everything, drag it to arrangement view and turn repitch on, drop the tempo a little bit. And that's a beat. That's a wowflower beat, if I do say so myself. Let's quickly have a listen to what we started with and what we have now. Here's the guitar sample we started with. Of course, a little slower than before. Here's the drum loop. And here is the bass loop. And we made all that sound like this. So yeah, hopefully that made sense. Hopefully you had fun following along. Hopefully you learned a new technique. Maybe you never thought about using a delay this way. Maybe you do this all the time. Maybe it's old news, you know? Who's to say? I don't know. But yeah. I don't know. Feeling very tired lately. I think I'm getting like the midsummer crash, you know? Like it's the middle of summer and I'm crashing. But I've been making so much music. Oh, whatever. I'm ranting. Be safe, have fun, make music, be creative, and I will see you guys in the next video.